So if people wanted to get involved now, I know that you can go jump into the Discord. I guess you can also buy a corruption is a legitimate thing to do. How should people think about if they wanted to buy one, the insight score?
Honestly, I have no idea. Maybe Fabians or Scott or even Remnant can answer this a little bit better. But the insight scores so far, I think the only difference between what they allowed you to do is one of the recent renderer upgrades switched it into kind of this 2-column format where you would have your corruptions art, but then you would also have a list of words to the right of it. That only was unlocked for any corruption with an insight score of 20 or higher. So I think that was the first instance of something essentially being gated by an insight score. I don't think it's come up besides that yet. So
I was shocked.
To speculate.
I was shocked to see these earlier today. So if people don't know, so a corruption looks like a playing card almost in terms of like form factor. And then now some of them have sort of shrunk down, or there's now the same playing card size space to the right of it with this list of concepts. I was totally shocked to see this happen. I really didn't anticipate. I just loaded it up today and saw it. How long ago did this update come out? And you're saying it automatically applies to any that have more than whatever it was amount of insight?
Yeah, I think anything with 20 or higher, it automatically was applied to. I think this came out maybe like 5 or 6 days ago. Sometime last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it didn't change the graphic of the corruption, but it added this piece to the right.
Actually, I think it might have actually changed the graphic a little bit. There was the introduction of a few more colors into each one. But
yeah, I see like scattered little some characters in another color. Which had that ever happened before?
I don't believe so. Somebody else might know better than I do, though.
No, that's new.
No,
that's definitely new.
Very interesting.
And I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
I will say if someone's looking to get a corruption now, it almost probably doesn't matter that much which one you're going to get, because so much of the actual game is happening in the community and in the Discord as well, and in the sort of speculation, but not speculation in the classical NFT sense, but rather in sort of speculating about, what does this message mean? And, or how should we respond? And so on. So
do people have a sense of what other, do people know which corruption you have, or do most people in the community have a corruption to start? And then second of all, do people who, I guess it's not required in any way, but do you know who your friends, which corruptions they have?
I actually don't. I'm not sure whether others are following it more. But I will say you need a corruption to really sort of engage in the Discord, because the actual corruption channels are gated.
Got it. Okay. And it's a vote in snapshot governance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, we will vote in the Discord for like quicker back and forth messaging using like emojis and stuff like that. But for the bigger, more crucial decisions, we will do a snapshot.
Seems like a great divide you've got for which types of decisions have to be made which way. It's sort of organically grown out of the thing. It's interesting to see like a DAO forming that I don't feel like there's any obligation that you as a community like pass a formal governance proposal for explaining how you're going to do these. You just sort of do it. It's not that level stakes, even if someday the NFTs in the vault end up being worth a lot of money. It's just not that kind of thing that you would have to be so formal about it. It seems like a different type of DAO in a way.
Yeah, I mean, with Dom like sending us the initial Wilted Rose deviation that's token ID 1 for free, and then allowing us to deviate the other 8 on through a reservation, I think like a big function of the multisig in our collection there is to enable all corruptions holders to be able to experience the full thing, without feeling like they need to have a specific piece or a specific deviation. Because we have every single kind in our multisig. Theoretically, that means that anybody who is in the corruptions community should be able to experience anything that comes up out of it, because we share those together.
That is very smart narrative design on the part of this project to allocate this much, one of each story path to the community, so that you can just participate in the community to explore the breadth of the universe. That seems very, very smart.
Yeah, and I think the vibe it kind of instills in the community is very different too. It's not about the value of the things within. It's about us being able to share access to them.
Once you deviate a corruption, is that a permanent change to that corruption?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so you're making choices that are sort of irrevocable as an individual or as a DAO, but somehow the implications of these things. The insight gated graphics update is very cool. I think. I wonder, that's the first time and the only time so far that that's happened, right?
Believe so, yeah.
One really interesting thing that came out of the AMA on Saturday is we were talking to Dom about tech and kind of talking about, what it means to be on chain and SVG and HTML. And he was pointing out that he thinks this is kind of almost like a primitive starting point, and he's going to explore what I took it to mean, like different kinds of rendering style using different techs, like upgrading it, maybe writing stuff in JavaScript. And I thought that was a really interesting. So I guess to say it's not the last graphical upgrade we'll see,
right,
in the corruption.
It's very cool. It feels like you're playing Fable or something, some like adventuring game RPG where you start and you're sort of given the worst sword and no sword and just your fists or something. And then once you have a little bit of experience, you level up a little bit, then you can get access to more power, and which allows you to explore more of the universe.
100%.